Introducing the reigning, defending, inside fighting host, Robby Sid Clark.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We got that 6-time UFC champion, the fighter, the pandemic, the gamer, the man who cuts his own lawn, Stipe Miocic. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
No worries, man. Wanted to ask you, man, what have you been up to since your last fight?
Oh, a lot around the house, mostly. Wife is nesting, got the little one on the way. So, yeah, right now, right before I got on with you, I'm pressure washing the driveway, cleaning that up now. Make sure it's up to speed and it's okay with the wife.
Yeah, I saw that on your social this morning. So how excited? Well, you're a couple months out from having your son now. Is it? It's getting close.
Yeah, a few more months. Yeah, we're excited, man. We're just as long as he's healthy, it's all we care about.
That's amazing. Yeah, and how is the? I'm gonna ask you. I want to get into before fighting. How has the firehouse been? And is that always kind of like a therapeutic release for you outside of the fight game as well too?
Oh yeah, definitely. I love going there. It's a great place. The guys are great. It's never a dull moment. There's always something fun going on, but also we get down to business.
Now, how long have you been working there as well too? Because it actually supersedes. You started UFC, I think, 2011. I saw your first fight actually, Joey Beltran, I believe it was back. So it's back in the day. But when did you become a firefighter, a paramedic?
Oof. Well, it's been 10 years, 11 or 12 years ago.
So it's like right before you got
into yeah, roughly. Not maybe a year or two before that. Yeah.
Very nice, man. All right, so let's get into the fighting a little bit. I know you've been vocal since your last fight about wanting to bulk up, and I wanted to I like to ask a lot of questions about the nutrition. Everybody likes to know how fighters train. Do you have a specific weight target that you wanted to get to for your next fight, or is it just kind of letting it happen naturally?
Just gonna let it happen naturally. I'm trying to bulk up, but not get too big where I kind of mess things up and make myself, I guess, slower and more or less conditioned, I guess. But I'm just eating food, not eating crappy. I'm still eating good food and just eating a lot more than I can.
And what's your weight at right now?
Probably close to 240 now.
240. Nice. You 230 your last fight? 234? Where were you?
231. Yeah, something like 233. Yeah, so slowly but surely it's getting there. I'm not looking increase fast. I'm just gonna keep getting stronger, and that's all I care about.
Yeah, absolutely. And your conditioning is always good. That's been one of the things that you've been known for as well too, right? So size should still add some benefits there. Now we got obviously, I think it looks like Lewis and Francis, a lot of moving parts right now going on in the heavyweight division, but it looks like Lewis and Francis are going to be the next up. Obviously, Lewis would be another good fight, but is there something about the Francis fight? I know you said you really wanted that back that gives you that extra motivation. You're clearly already the most dominant UFC heavyweight champion of all time. You got the most title defenses. And you always see that. I mean, you've got Conor coming up where he's got his, trilogy match with Dustin. And one of the things that I think has really helped his career, obviously, is charisma. But you look at those fights where he loses and he's like, no, I want that one back. You've avenged every fight except for Stefan, and that has more to do with you being much more dominant in your career than Stefan, superseding that fight. Is there something about that fight that's extra motivating, or are you just more focused on the belt?
Oh, definitely. I feel like definitely more motivated always. You always get motivated in this sport because if you're not, you'll get left behind, I guess you would say. I just, I want to get that back, man. I felt good in the last fight. I just, I'm better than him. I know that. I know I'm better than him. And, listen, it was his night. Nothing I can take away. Good for him.
Yeah, no, it was a great fight. A lot of people look into that because you caught him with a big shot right before you came in there, right? So it was super competitive, and you hadn't even really gotten into the wrestling yet. You were just standing there, and and you guys were not going to war. Actually, you were going in and out, and it was a great fight up until that moment. So you guys both had your moments, but I like how you handled that as well too. A lot of fighters sometimes are like, I was lucky or did something there, but you've been very respectful of that, and you did the same thing with Cormier, and you came back and proved it, right? So, I mean, that says a lot about the type of person you are. Now, yeah, of course. And I wanted to also get you don't talk too much about it, but I know, the heavyweight division is, I don't want to say bottlenecked up right now, but there's been a lot of talk about the fighter pay. I know Francis has recently come out about that. John Jones obviously has been a huge issue there. Do you pay much attention to that, or you're happy with what you have right now? Do you think that's a good thing for Francis to come out and speak about things like that, or does it just kind of annoy you when the champions are focusing on that a little bit more?
Definitely, I think, of course, more money is better. There's no question. I think, if you've been real dominant, I think you have a little more say. You would say, you know what I mean? Like John Jones, he's definitely proven himself and all that. Francis, he's great, but he's just got the belt. It's not like he defended him multiple times or stuff like that. I guess I don't know. I just, but I think we do. It'd be great to get paid more. Because in the beginning of careers, you don't make as much, and some guys have to work side jobs, and like I do because I choose to. I'm lucky, but some of these other kids have to work on side jobs just to make extra money. It sucks.
No, I agree. I wasn't even asked this, but I wanted to, since you went there with it, one of the things I thought would be cool is, like you said, a lot of these entry level fighters, they don't, when they first come in, they're not getting big contracts. They got to win to make more. Do you think it would be cool for the UFC to implement something more on the lower tiers where they have a guarantee contract, like 3 fights, but you're guaranteed to at least get those 3 fights, win or lose? Do you think that that'd be something for the, newcomers into the UFC that would be beneficial?
Yeah, I think it'd be great. I mean, listen, if I was coming up with these ideas and stuff like that, I wouldn't be fighting. But yeah, I think if there was a good pay scale and guaranteed 3 fights, I think it'd be different.
Yeah, fair. So now let's go back a little bit. 2011 obviously was your entry into the UFC. What got you started into mixed martial arts, and who were some of the fighters that you watched?
Yeah, I was going back to school when I got done with college, doing my firefighter paramedic thing. And I was training at the gym, just training people, making like gas food money. And then the guy, one of the owners of the gym was like, hey, I'm friends with this guy named Dan the Bull Bobish, who fought in Pride, UFC, King of the Cage, fought all over, great guy. And he's like, you want to help him wrestle for a fight? I'm like, yeah, sure. I didn't know what to expect. And I walk in, he's a guy, he's a monster, a huge man. I'm taller than him, but he's way, way bigger than me. And, I just fell in love with the sport. I just loved everything about it. I love the whole training aspect. In a weird way, I like being told what to do, like, because I'm so, organized with the team and, it's individual. You still have team practice and stuff. I love that. I had something to do. I kept having something to do and just keep my mind off of stuff. And another reason why it kept me out of trouble. Probably going to the bar all the time. My friends were like, yeah, I'm good. I just got done training. I got punched in the face today. I don't feel like doing anything and stuff like that. And so, I fell in love with it. It was like a puzzle to me. And I was watching YouTube videos and just trying to, take things that guys do and make it into what I want. And it was just, I just fell in love. And then, one of my, guys I watch is Crow Cop. Love that guy. That guy, legend.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I remember watching VHS's like late 90s, early 2000s of like Frank Shamrock and getting into it before the sport was big. Went to my first event in 2002, and it's always nice to hear where people started or where their journey was in MMA, because it's such a niche sport back then that it's cool just to see how people got into it. Now, one of the things you said there was you love being told what to do. My wife would probably agree with that statement with me as well. But
mine as well.
Yeah, but you always talk about your coaches so often, because you're always so appreciative of what they've done, and you're like, well, I wouldn't be here without them. I think you said on Submission Radio, those guys are hysterical. Shout out to them. But that you said that one of the main reasons you want that rematch is because of your coaches as well, too. Now, like, are your coaches with you year round? Are you one of those fighters who's always training and they're just you're relying on them to come up with things? Are you training year round with them? And why do you have so much, I know it's a weird question, but why do you have so much appreciation for what your coaches have done?
Yeah, I train at the gym all year round. Nothing's changed. Always, I've always done that. Just keep my mind right, stay like level headed and, just love training. And with my coach, I just, they believe in me and I believe in them, and we're great friends, and, we got each other's back, and that's why I love it. That's why we're here. It takes a small village. Our village is pretty crazy, but I always talk about this. There was on YouTube, one of the embeddeds that someone put as a comment, Stipe's team look like they belong in the Lord of the Rings. Just because we have we're one short guy, we're one tall, skinny guy, one big, huge, like big mustache guy. It's funny. And I love those guys, man. We do things together. They come over, use my pool, we hang out, go to dinner together. It's just like a family.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, it's been great to see, and your boxing coach always been there, and you can tell the real emotion from them as well too. It's obviously mutual between them. It's more than fighting, more than pay. It's a real bond there. So it's really cool to see, because you do get some fighters who bounce around and stuff like that, which is great. It's to each their own, but it's nice to see that you've been able to keep a really solid team for a long time.
Yeah, I know it's great to watch these newcomers come up, and so it's tough though sometimes, because we have a fight, these other guys are up and comers too. You're like, oh man, like you want to leave them hanging, you know what I mean? So it's like so hard to like balance out and stuff, but they do a great job with it.
Absolutely. Now we got to talk about Cleveland for a little bit. I went there a few years ago with my wife. She's a big Rocky fan, so she got us the get-ups, and we ran up the steps. So I wanted to ask you, for people who have not been to Cleveland before, what are some of the cool things that you like about Cleveland and what people can do there?
Cleveland's great. I mean, people there are great. Go to the Browns game, great tailgating. We're doing well this year, and this will be good. Last year will be getting good this year, which is great. It's about time. Baseball's good. Our basketball team's getting better. We have amazing food. There's a lot of great places to eat in Cleveland. We have a lot of we have the Rockwell Hall of Fame. We have the lake, a lot of cool things to do on the lake. Good nightlife. We have the casino. We have a lot going on. It's pretty fun. A lot of people, they talk a lot of smack about it, but the minute they come here, it's like, man, what a great place. I'm like, yeah, now you like it.
Yeah. Once they experience it there. And same thing, one of the cool things about you rocking Cleveland as well too, you see MGK, he does the same thing, and it's cool to see how supportive he's been of you and all the fights he comes out to and cheering. What is your relationship like with him? And is MGK coming over to the to the Miocic estate for family dinner sometimes?
No, we're friends. I don't bother him. He's a busy man. I hit him up on DM once in a while, but he's a busy man. Plus, he's out in LA doing his thing and making his career go farther. And he's just a good dude. As we see each other, it's like we always been talking.
No, it's cool. Like you see, he's one of the consistent guys at the fights when you're there. So it's always cool to see how supportive he is. And it's nice when hometown guys, or anyone in general, do that, right? It's really cool to see, and he gets the fans going as well too.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's a good dude.
So another question here, what is your favorite division to watch outside of heavyweight? And second, who is your favorite fighters to watch right now?
Ooh, those are good questions. Is it sad to say I really don't watch fights a lot? I mean, I think most of it went into a lot of drama, I guess, because everyone loves the drama. So when two guys don't like each other, I definitely watch that, because just you want to see what happens and hope it's a good fight. But and with the fighters that I watch, I just there's so many good guys out there, and girls too. And so it's just I like watching them. If they put on a show, it's great. Like when you got like Amanda Nunes, she's this absolute savage. I would never want to fight her right now. I don't care. She's awesome. And then they're great. They're great. Her partner, great. They're amazing people too. And like Rose, then you got Jan, he's doing great. I mean, just there's a lot. Just a lot going on. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny you brought that up about the female MMA, because I've said that all the time, and I know Dana White spoke out against it when they were first asking if he'd start a division. But it's funny. I have friends that are newcomers that are coming into the sport, and they're like, I don't really want to see the girls fight. I'm like, have you seen female MMA? And it's funny, other ones who might not necessarily follow the other female sports or WNBA, they see the fighting and it's crazy, and they're technical. It's not like what people would think. So why do you think that is? Why do you think female fighting is done so well, and some other female sports maybe not so much, but it's really picked up in fighting?
Well, I think just with women, just because people think of women as our fighters, and they come in and they go out there and they do their thing and they look great doing it, and they talk well, they represent the sport well. I mean, you can't beat it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another thing about MMA fighters is they're very well spoken, and I think people are surprised when they get them on interviews. Yourself, you're funny too, so you got the comedy side of you, which not everybody has. But no, it's cool, man. I try to always drive new people to the sport as much as possible.
The way it's funny, it's actually funny because like I got people like that too. And I'm like, listen, you watch one fight, you're gonna be hooked for life, and then they're like, oh my God, they're getting crazy, and And I'm like, now you're gonna pick people the way they look, because you don't know anything about them. And so now they're gonna look at someone like, oh, I want him to win just because the way they look, and it's funny. It's just listen to them talk. It's great.
Well, and even obviously the UFC has done a great job with it. There's other promotions. Bellator does a great job as well too. I was recently at the Floyd fight and the Logan. I have respect, for people in both regards, but there's something to say about the production of the UFC, and actually going to an event there is different than any sporting event I've been to before. It's just, and I'm the guy in there at the first preliminary fight, right? So it's exciting the whole way through. Did you feel that now being on the other side of it? Obviously, you're in the crowd as well too, but do you feel that different energy, whether watching at a UFC event or coming out, than you do at other sporting events?
Oh yeah, it's definitely, I think, set up different. I think, there's so many more people too. because like you go to a basketball game, they just have like fans, and they have like courtside, but like the fans are like all the right way around. Like they're like up close and personal, and like same with baseball, you have the fans on the outside, but it's not like in close. It's just it's crazy, and I think just like when I fought in Cleveland, that was electric, and I've never felt anything like that. I get goosebumps thinking about it every time. And I think, and the fans are so passionate. That's what's the best thing about it.
And do you like, how nervous do you get coming out to a fight? There's some fighters that claim to have cold veins, I guess, but how do you feel coming out into a fight and in the locker room?
I mean, in the beginning, I was nervous, and then it's like riding a bike. The more times you do it, the easier it gets. There's no question. I still have the nerves, but nowhere near what I used to be. But in the locker room, I'm joking around, having a good time, not trying to think about the fight, busting balls, doing that. And then right when we hit that, walkout song hits, and I'm like, oh, it's game time. I can't leave now.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you mentioned Dan, a veteran, how you got into MMA, and you said you don't watch a lot of fights. So I wanted to know who is the best or top MMA fighter that you've had the ability to train with, and if you don't want to call anyone specifically out, then maybe a couple fighters that you were been extremely impressed with their skills.
Oh, there are a lot of guys. I mean, the Crow Cop, of course. I trained with Crow Cop. He was awesome. I learned a lot, and definitely got a good head kick. Chris Wyman, he's great. I learned a lot from him. I would train John Vellante. Vellante too. Even though he just throws right hands, he does have some tricks up his sleeve. And we have a lot of guys. I can't remember offhand, but those guys that come to mind right now. There's a lot of I learned a lot from them, and it's been great. Like coaching wise, like Trevor Whitman too. When I went out there to help our guys and stuff, he's a mastermind. He's awesome.
Yeah, Whitman is an OG. We were lucky enough to have Wyman on last week, and he's it's funny. He comes up consistently with a lot of fighters about being like one of the best guys that they've ever trained with. And I've always loved the Vellante, the relationship you guys have all had. It's always a very like joking, budding relationship when you guys see you there. So it's cool. Do you guys still get the ability to train together, or are you mostly training at home?
When I would train at home, like when I have a child, so it's harder for me to leave. And then with the pandemic, when the pandemic was going, it was harder to leave. So I would have Vellante come in for like a week or so. But when I would go out there, the only reason I would train Chris is because I was training Vellante, and they would train together too. So me and Chris would do a few rounds here and there. Yeah, and then he moved
down south as well now too.
Yeah,
to the family, and so you've got a really good training set up there now. What is your favorite part about training? Like, what is there? Do you prefer the boxing aspect, grappling, or do you like everything, or does it shift?
It depends. I think with training, I think I'm more happy when it's done and go home. But the reason I love training so much is that no matter how bad my day is on the outside, I go in there, I do my thing, and I come out and I feel refreshed. It's like therapeutic for me. It's just, I feel calm and collective, and I'm like, oh, I'm so much happier. Because not every day is perfect, but I think just going and doing that, and then getting out, and I'm like, oh, I feel so much better, and just to unwind. But I think also too with training wise, I think going there and just hanging out with all the guys, seeing what they're up to, how their day was, and just kind of catching up. Just even though I see them almost every day, just to know how the weekend was, and just to chat it up. It's almost like high school.
Yeah, it's a different world, almost like the firehouse as well too, right? There's different.
Exactly.
And you got the home life, so you got some really good balance there between the three for sure, right? So.
Oh yeah. definitely. Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, we're pretty much all children at the gym, and I have to go home to a child, and then the fire stations are pretty much all children there too. So yeah, pretty much, we're all kids at heart.
And now what, during fight camp, I'm not sure if it trains a lot for you. Like, how many times do you normally train a day? I get kind of, I know a lot of the fans, and I'm fascinated as well too, to see just how professional athletes train, what they eat. What is your typical training schedule like during the week while you're in fight camp?
Twice Monday, Tuesday. Wednesdays once a day. It's like a pull workout or some type of conditioning. And also depending on my body feels, it might be just recovery. Thursdays twice a day. Fridays another pull workout depending on my body feels. That's more recovery than anything because Saturday's a long day. But we usually have sparring or some type of grappling, ground and pound. After that with strength conditioning. So that's a little longer day on Saturdays. And after that, I'm done till Monday. So I have Sunday off.
Nice. They give you one day.
Yeah, but also I listen to my body though as I get older too, and just sometimes you can't push it because you'll get hurt more. And I mean, there's days where I'm sore and I'm beat up. I don't want to do anything, but you got to change up as you go too. And so some days might be just one day. Some days there's days where I walk in and I look like crap on a Thursday. My coach is like, "Are you done for the weekend?" Like, just I'll see you Monday. I don't ever question. I'm like, okay, see you later. I'm like running out the door. He's like, "I thought you were sore."
That's so funny. Yeah, you mentioned a good thing about recovery there, which I think a lot of fighters, especially after 25, and when you can recover from everything, they focus on a little bit more. Do you I'll watch some Joe Rogan videos. He has a ton of people on all the time. I see him in his sauna at like 4 million degrees, like sweating things out. Are there some cool things that you're doing now, like cryotherapy or anything that you think is exciting or new has helped you in the recovery process from training?
I think the pool, definitely the pool. Because I mean, there's days where I walk in that pool, I'm super sore, but the minute I get in there, I start moving around. I feel so much better.
Really, just getting in your pool and just moving around and getting the going.
Yeah, because it's not beating up my joints. There's no joint pressure and just feels good. I mean, during the summer it's great because I have one at my house, but during the winter if we do use it, we will go to the rec center right down the street.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Do you do any biking or anything as well too?
That's one thing I do not like. I hate biking. I hate it so much.
You see so many fighters biking now, so I wanted to see.
I did it one time. I mean, my coach was like, "Hey, let's do it." We did a 100-mile bike ride. I was so mad. We did it, and then it was last fight or this fight, we did a 13-mile or 15-mile bike ride. I said, "We're not doing this ever again. You want to do it once a week?" I said, "Yeah, for sure." And magically, I got out of it. I have no idea, but it worked out great.
That's so funny. And so I got a few other ones for you here. I wanted to know, you're a bit of a gamer as well too. What's your favorite video game right now? And then what's your favorite video game of all time?
I play Warzone a lot. I love Warzone. I mean, I think people on Twitch probably want to see me play different games, but I just love Warzone. I love everything about it. I just love it. Plus, I have my buddies I play with, and plus I just like the video games aspect too. It gets my mind off everything. Especially like with a fight or something or anything going on, just let me do my thing. And my favorite video game all time is probably the Resident Evil saga. Actually, I have to get a new one. It just came out. Love Resident Evil.
Resident Evil, yeah. My friend, a good friend of mine, Sean Roberts, was in a few episodes of that, or a few other movies. That the glasses, bleach blonde. Yeah. Big MMA fan himself too. But yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice guy. But now to go back quickly to your diet, because you're bulking up a little bit. You eat pretty clean though as well too. What have you done to change up your diet? I heard you did obviously a little bit less cardio, but is it more steak or what's your diet like right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna eat more. I mean, not like feel myself, overgorge myself and feel sick, but just definitely like steaks, definitely more chicken. Just a little bit more fattier foods, not too bad, but still home cooked, all the good stuff. My wife's an amazing cook, so I'm pretty lucky.
That's always good to have. And now that's good. So you've got some time now, especially with the kind of again, I hate it's not bottleneck, but we don't have a date set for Francis
it's only like September, which is even better.
Yeah. So so you're planning maybe end of year, or do you care? It's just
that's what I'm hoping for. January they get done with that fight. I get the winner. in the January, whatever.
And what if John Jones comes into the picture and they're like, oh, are you, I mean, obviously you deserve a title fight next. In my opinion, I think the fans' opinions, obviously you should be fighting for the belt regardless. If something like that were to happen and they jumped in, would you be like, would you want to wait and just see what happens there and then wait for the belt? Would you be open to fighting John if for some reason they were like, you know what, we're going to do a John Jones Stipe fight, or is it the belt is the solar focus right now?
You know, I haven't thought about that. You know, I just, right now I just want the belt back. You know, it's just, that bothers me inside. But once we come to that road, we'll figure it out. But right now I'm just, worrying about me and just keep getting stronger.
Absolutely. And now, last question I wanted to ask: what are some super fights right now, in or outside of the UFC, that you would like? Top 3. You know what? We can even bring up past fighters as well too if we want. But 3 fights that you maybe wanted to see, or fights coming up now.
Man, that's a good one. Always wanted to see that Ferguson, Khabib one, because that was always just something. I mean, I think everyone wanted to see that one, just because there was so much drama involved with that, and I think they're both good dudes. You know what I mean? So I just it'd be an amazing fight. Oh man, what's a good Israel versus John Jones? Is that another one? Right? They're going. Are they still going at it?
They are a bit, but I think because Jones went up to heavyweight and then Jan won the decision, it's kind of died down. But that's always going to be an exciting one too. And Izzy looked great in his last fight as well too, with his takedown defense. Looked like
yeah. So, oh man, and I don't know what the third one would be. I think probably me against my wife would be great.
Well, my wife's going to beat me up for that Philadelphia comment after this. So
no, you're good. Stay with me, trust me. I can't ever win either, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. I really appreciate that. Well, Stipe, man, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate that. And man, I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely be at your next fight. So thank you for joining us on Inside Fighting, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Hey, I'm gonna go back to power washing, but I appreciate you having me on. Give me a little bit of a break. It's starting to get hot out there, so I have to work on my tan. So super exciting. But hey, thanks for having me. This is an awesome time, and have a great day, my friend.
Awesome, man. You too. Thank you.